Chitose Saku seems to have everything. He is handsome, athletic, confident, academically capable, and surrounded by some of the most popular girls in school. Unfortunately, that also makes him one of the most hated students on an anonymous school forum. People call him a playboy and assume he collects girls simply because he is attractive. Chitose doesn't understand why being popular automatically makes him a bad person. He also doesn't seem interested in becoming anyone's boyfriend. For him, school life is already complicated enough. Then his teacher gives him a completely different kind of problem. A student named Kenta has stopped attending school for months. He has locked himself inside his room and completely withdrawn from everyone. The teacher asks Chitose to bring him back. At first, Chitose thinks it's ridiculous. He knows almost nothing about Kenta except that he's an extreme otaku. Still, he agrees. The first attempt goes terribly. Chitose arrives with Yua, but Kenta immediately insults them. To him, Chitose represents everything wrong with popular people. He assumes handsome guys like Chitose have never experienced rejection, loneliness, or failure. Chitose tries talking about Kenta's favorite light novels, but Kenta refuses to believe he could genuinely understand them. So Chitose tries a different approach. He sends Yua away, grabs a baseball bat, climbs through Kenta's balcony, and simply sits down inside his room. Kenta has no choice but to talk. He finally explains why he hates people like Chitose. He believes popular students are simply born better. They are attractive. They are athletic. They have friends. They get attention without understanding what it's like to be rejected. Chitose listens and then explains something Kenta doesn't want to hear. Those people may look naturally gifted, but many of them work hard behind the scenes. Yuko maintains herself carefully. Athletes train constantly. Even Chitose studies, exercises, and works on his communication. Then Chitose proves that he's not pretending to understand Kenta. He has actually read Kenta's favorite light novels, and not just the first few chapters. He knows the story well enough to discuss it in detail. Kenta is stunned. Why would a popular guy spend days reading an entire series just to talk to him? Chitose explains that he hates being judged by people who have never bothered to know him, and that is exactly what Kenta has been doing. He judged Chitose before ever giving him a chance. Chitose then tells Kenta about a talented boy who spent years working on his grades, athletics, and appearance. Instead of being admired, the boy became hated. Whenever he failed, people celebrated. Eventually, he deliberately started performing worse just to become less threatening. It did not work. That was when a teacher told him something important. If you are given advantages, you should not destroy yourself because other people are jealous. You should use what you have to help others. Kenta slowly realizes Chitose isn't living the effortless life he imagined. Then Chitose correctly guesses the reason Kenta stopped going to school. He had fallen for a girl named Miki. She rejected him and started dating another popular member of his otaku group. Kenta became humiliated and slowly convinced himself that the entire world was against him. Chitose offers to mentor him for 3 weeks, not because Kenta needs to become a completely different person. He needs to learn how to take care of himself, communicate, and stop assuming everyone is his enemy. The transformation begins. Yuko cuts his hair. His diet changes. He exercises. He learns basic social skills. Most importantly, he starts talking to people again. When Kenta finally returns to school, Chitose introduces him to everyone instead of allowing the awkwardness to isolate him again. The students laugh at his embarrassing love story, but this time Kenta realizes something. They're not necessarily laughing because they hate him. They're inviting him into the conversation. For the first time in months, someone has actually started talking to him. Kenta slowly becomes comfortable around Chitose's friends. He learns how to joke, how to listen, and how to participate without assuming every word is an attack. After a week, his appearance has already changed noticeably. Chitose and Yuko take him shopping and completely upgrade his wardrobe. For Kenta, seeing himself in the mirror is almost unbelievable. He finally looks like someone who belongs outside his bedroom, but Chitose reminds him that appearance is only the visible part. Every improvement came from Kenta actually putting in the work. Then Kenta tells them about his upcoming meeting with Miki. He wants to show her how much he has changed. Chitose encourages him, but privately he begins worrying. What happens when Kenta walks back into the world and gets hurt again? His friend Haru gives him the answer. Chitose is acting like a coach who refuses to leave the sidelines, but a coach cannot enter the field and play the entire match for his athlete. At some point, Kenta has to stand on his own. That lesson becomes painfully relevant during a football match. Chitose and his friends repeatedly create opportunities for Kenta, but every time the ball reaches him, he freezes. Eventually, Chitose carries the game himself and scores an incredible goal. His team still loses. Everyone laughs about the ridiculous result. Kenta laughs too, but afterward he overhears Chitose and Yuko joking about how badly he played. He misunderstands. All the insecurity he thought he had escaped returns instantly. Kenta accuses Chitose of using him as entertainment. He believes the entire 3-week transformation was just another joke. Chitose could easily defend himself. Instead, he apologizes. He admits that he crossed the line. He never wanted Kenta to feel humiliated. Kenta runs away. The next morning, he walks into the restaurant where he is supposed to meet Miki. He is carrying 3 weeks of effort, hope, and insecurity with him. Miki and her boyfriend Ren immediately notice how different he looks. But instead of respecting his progress, they mock him. They tell him that someone else obviously helped him transform. Kenta admits that his new friends did help. Then Miki asks whether he has forgotten about her. Kenta calmly says she's part of his past now. That answer angers them. Ren decides to destroy Kenta emotionally. He shows him private messages proving that Miki forwarded Kenta's old messages to him. They had laughed about his feelings. Even the replies Kenta thought were romantic had been written partly to manipulate him. Kenta realizes something horrifying. The girl he thought he loved never returned those feelings. The relationship existed almost entirely inside his own imagination. For a moment, he feels himself falling back toward the old version of himself. He wants to disappear. He wants to return to the safety of his bedroom. Then Chitose walks in. He had promised Kenta that he would be there. Chitose introduces himself as Kenta's brother-like friend and calmly stands beside him. Ren insults Kenta again. This time, Chitose loses his temper. He tells Ren exactly how much work Kenta put into changing. Kenta didn't hide anymore. He returned to school, he rebuilt his health, he learned to talk to people, and he walked into this restaurant knowing these people might humiliate him again. That takes more courage than anything Ren has ever done. Kenta finally tells Miki that he's done chasing her. He doesn't need her approval anymore. He will keep moving forward. Afterward, Chitose tells him their 3-week mentoring agreement is over. Kenta becomes emotional and asks whether they'll still accept him as a friend. Chitose and Yuko laugh. The contract ending does not mean the friendship ends. Kenta is already their friend. His entire life has changed. But while Kenta is learning to live again, Chitose becomes involved in another problem. A girl named Yuzuki asks him to pretend to be her boyfriend. At first, Chitose thinks she is simply flirting. But Yuzuki reveals the truth. Someone has been stalking her. She wants Chitose to play the role of her boyfriend to scare the stalker away. And if things become dangerous, she wants him to protect her. Chitose agrees. The next morning, Yuzuki announces their relationship at school. Yuko is immediately suspicious. She knows Chitose too well to believe he suddenly started dating someone without a reason. The rest of the group eventually learns the truth and agrees to support them. Then, the harassment escalates. Yuzuki's personal belongings disappear. Strange people from another school begin following her. And one day, anonymous photographs appear showing Yuzuki and Chitose together. Someone has scratched Chitose's face out of the pictures. The message attached to them tells them to break up. Yuzuki tries to laugh it off, but Chitose realizes she's afraid. He takes the situation seriously. When several boys approach him and ask about Yuzuki, Chitose directly confronts them. He learns that they may be connected to a dangerous senior. The boys threaten him, but Chitose's friends arrive before the situation turns violent. Later, Yuzuki breaks down beside the river. She apologizes for dragging Chitose into her problems. Chitose puts his jacket around her and waits until she becomes herself again. He teaches her a simple self-defense technique and reminds her that she can rely on him whenever she needs to. Their fake relationship slowly becomes more complicated. Yuzuki starts wanting things that have nothing to do with the stalker. She wants a normal date. She wants to hold Chitose's hand. She wants him to look at her like a real girlfriend. Then comes the basketball match. Just before the game, Yuzuki's shoes disappear from the changing room. Chitose immediately assumes the stalker took them. He searches the area and eventually finds them hidden nearby. He returns with scraped arms, leaves in his hair, and absolutely no dignity left. Yuzuki puts them on and plays the match. In the final seconds, she takes the decisive shot. She wins. The two later attend a summer festival together. Yuzuki arrives wearing a beautiful yukata. Chitose is genuinely stunned. For once, he doesn't pull away when she reaches for his hand. They eat festival food, play games, drink Ramune, and watch the fireworks. The night almost feels like a real relationship. Then they encounter the people connected to Yuzuki's past. The men harass her and deliberately bring up things that trigger her fear. Chitose wants to fight, but instead, he creates a distraction and draws the attention of the police. The attackers escape. The next day, Yuzuki begins distancing herself from him. Then Nazuna discovers an old photograph showing Yuzuki with one of the men connected to her past. Yuzuki panics and accuses Nazuna of being the stalker. She is wrong. Nazuna is not the person behind it. The accusation makes Yuzuki realize how badly fear has affected her. She runs away. Chitose finds her and simply hums a song until she calms down. Later, a large group of the same dangerous students waits outside school. Chitose initially tries to avoid the confrontation, but eventually he steps outside with Yuzuki. The gang surrounds them. Chitose provokes the leader until the man's anger takes over. Just as the situation becomes dangerous, their teacher arrives. He used to be connected to the same group and easily shuts the confrontation down. Yuzuki is finally safe for the night, but she is still terrified of being alone. She asks to stay at Chitose's house. That night, she tries to kiss him. Chitose stops her. He doesn't want to take advantage of the broken version of Yuzuki standing in front of him. He wants the sharp, confident girl who refuses to let fear control her. That finally makes Yuzuki angry enough to stop collapsing. She tells him what happened years earlier. In middle school, an older boy named Yanashita became obsessed with her. When Yuzuki rejected him, he tried to force himself on her. When she resisted, he hit her. The other boys around him laughed. For the first time in her life, Yuzuki was completely helpless. That moment became the trauma she spent years hiding. Chitose does not tell her to forget it. He simply tells her that he's proud she survived it. Yuzuki finally breaks down and cries in his arms. She calls him her hero. But afterward, something changes. Yuzuki no longer wants to depend on a fake boyfriend forever. She decides to confront the problem herself. She officially ends their fake relationship. Chitose is relieved that she has regained control of her life. Then the real stalker is finally exposed. A student named Tomoya has been following Yuzuki. Chitose had actually suspected him for a long time. Tomoya had built an imaginary version of Yuzuki inside his head. He believed she was perfect, untouchable, someone who never experienced ordinary problems. But Yuzuki destroys that fantasy herself. When Tomoya confronts her, she bluntly tells him she's just a normal girl. She gets upset. She has bad days. She has ordinary habits. She can be jealous. Tomoya cannot accept that the perfect girl he imagined doesn't exist. He loses control. Yuzuki defends herself. Then Chitose arrives and reveals the trap he created. He had deliberately given Tomoya false information about Yuzuki. Tomoya's actions prove that he was the stalker. The police now have evidence. Before leaving, Chitose tells Tomoya something surprisingly sincere. Stop taking shortcuts. If you genuinely like someone, talk to them. And if they reject you, accept it and move on. Yuzuki's fake relationship with Chitose is officially over, but before she leaves his house, she asks him to wait. Then she kisses him. Chitose jokes that she almost missed. Yuzuki simply wishes him a happy birthday. For a relationship that was supposed to be fake, the goodbye feels painfully real. The boy everyone thought had the perfect life has spent the entire story helping other people find the courage to move forward. And that's where today's story ends. If you enjoyed this anime recap, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more anime stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.